Welcome to Module 2, Applying Work-Life Balance at ECIC. In Module 1, we laid the foundation by understanding what balance really means, why it's important, and how to recognize the early signs of imbalance. But knowledge alone doesn't change behavior, application does. That's why in Module 2, we're shifting from awareness to action. We'll look at practical strategies you can use to create balance in your daily life and at work. This includes time and energy management, stress management techniques, and how to make the most of ECIC's support systems, like the Employee Assistance Program, HR wellness initiatives, and line manager guidance. Think of this module as your toolkit. By the time we're done, you'll have strategies you can start using immediately. For example, how to prioritize tasks during a busy month-end deadline, set healthy boundaries around after-hours communication, use quick reset techniques to recover from stress in the middle of a demanding day, or even how to have honest conversations with your manager about workload and support. The key is this: you don't have to choose between being a high performer and protecting your well-being. You can and should do both. This module will show you how. Purpose of the module. The purpose of this module is straightforward: to equip you with real practical tools you can apply in your day-to-day work at ECIC. At EC, we understand that our people deliver their best when they are both supported and challenged. Support without challenge leads to stagnation. Challenge without support leads to burnout. True balance comes when the two work hand in hand. This module is about showing you how to achieve balance while still meeting organizational goals. It's about proving that well-being and performance are not opposites. They actually reinforce one another. Here's a practical example. Imagine a project officer in the middle of a tight deadline for a new export finance project. At the same time, they're expected to attend their child's graduation ceremony. Without the right balance, that employee feels forced to choose between personal life and professional responsibility. But with proper planning, setting priorities early, communicating clearly with their manager, and perhaps making use of flexible work arrangements, they can successfully deliver on the project and attend the graduation. That's what this module is here to make possible, equipping you with the tools, strategies, and confidence to make balance a reality, not just a theory. Because at ECIC, we don't just want employees who meet targets, we want employees who can meet targets sustainably, without sacrificing their health, their families, or their ethics in the process. Learning outcomes. By the end of this module, you'll have more than just awareness. You'll walk away with practical skills you can use immediately in your ECSE role. First, you'll be able to apply time and priority management strategies. One of the most effective is the Eisenhower Matrix, a simple but powerful tool to separate what's urgent and important from what's merely noise. For example, submitting a PFMA compliance report falls in the urgent and important box, and it requires your full focus. But that non-critical email about next month's social event, that can wait. Learning how to rank your tasks this way prevents overwhelm and ensures your energy goes to the right places. Second, you'll know how to use stress management techniques you can rely on daily. This isn't about waiting until you're at breaking point. It's about building small resets into your routine. A breathing exercise before a tense meeting, stretching after sitting too long, or even stepping outside for 5 rand minutes of fresh air between back-to-back Teams calls. These are practical habits, not theory. Third, you'll learn how to make full use of ECIC's support systems. That includes HR wellness programs, health screenings, and resilience training, the Employee Assistance Program, which gives you confidential 24/7 support, and the role of your line manager in helping you balance priorities realistically. Too often, employees don't use these tools because they don't realize how accessible they are. This module makes them part of your balance toolkit. Finally, you'll design your own personal work-life balance plan. This plan will be your roadmap, not a generic template, but something tailored to your life, your role, and your values. It will cover boundaries, energy rhythms, and recovery strategies. And remember, these aren't just theories on a slide. They are tools you can start applying as soon as you leave this session. Balance only works if you practice it in real life, and by the end of this module, you'll have what you need to do just that. Time and energy management. Let's begin with time and energy management, two of the most critical areas for balance. The Eisenhower matrix helps you separate tasks into four categories: urgent and important. These get done immediately. Submitting a PFMA compliance deadline, for instance, is non-negotiable and must be prioritized. Important but not urgent. These should be scheduled. Think of staff development or attending a training program. They're easy to postpone but essential for growth. Urgent but not important. These can be delegated. A last-minute request for formatting slides might feel urgent but could be handled by a colleague or support staff. Neither urgent nor important, these can often be eliminated altogether, like repeatedly checking your inbox when no deadline depends on it. This framework prevents you from treating everything as equally important and helps you invest your energy wisely. Now, let's talk about energy management. Time is fixed. We all have the same 24 hours. Energy, however, fluctuates throughout the day. Use your high-energy periods for deep work, like writing reports, financial analysis, or problem solving. For most people, this is in the morning when the mind is sharpest. Save your lower energy times, like late afternoons, for lighter tasks such as emails, admin, or scheduling. Build in recovery breaks. For example, after an intense 2-hour meeting, take a 10-minute walk before diving into the next task. You'll return with more focus than if you just push through. Here's a real ECIC example. Imagine you've got to prepare a complex board submission and also respond to a flood of emails. Instead of toggling between both, dedicate your morning to the board submission when your concentration is highest, and block out an hour in the afternoon for clearing your inbox. This way, each task gets done with the right energy, and you avoid feeling drained by constant multitasking. The key takeaway: managing your time prevents overload, and managing your energy ensures quality. Together, they create a foundation for sustainable balance. Practical stress management. Stress is a natural part of work. Deadlines, compliance checks, client needs. But unmanaged stress can quickly become dangerous. It erodes focus, weakens health, and can damage both performance and relationships. That's why managing stress proactively is key. Quick reset tools can work wonders. A simple 2-minute breathing exercise before a big presentation can calm your nervous system, reduce anxiety, and improve focus. For example, taking slow, deep breaths before presenting to the audit committee can help you come across as clear and confident. The 20-20-20 rule is another powerful tool. Every 20 minutes, look 20 feet away for 20 rand seconds. This reduces eye strain from long hours on spreadsheets or Teams calls, a common issue for EC staff working on detailed financial models. Breaks matter more than you think. Many people believe pushing through lunch is more productive, but science proves the opposite. Taking a proper 30 rand minute lunch break away from your desk refreshes your brain and increases afternoon productivity. Imagine an underwriter who skips lunch daily to get ahead. By 3 p.m., they're making errors in calculations. In contrast, a short break could help them return sharper and finish tasks with fewer mistakes. Recognizing when stress is too much. It's normal to feel stressed for a few days around a big deadline. But if stress continues for weeks and you notice it affecting your sleep, your health, or your mood, that's a red flag. For example, an analyst who lies awake every night worrying about month-end or starts getting recurring headaches should see that as a signal to seek support. And here's the key: you don't have to push through alone. ECIC provides systems to help you manage stress before it turns into burnout. We'll explore these next. Using ECIC support systems. At ECIC, you're never expected to manage balance and stress challenges alone. We've built structured support systems designed to keep employees healthy, engaged, and effective. These aren't tick box initiatives. They are resources to help you thrive both at work and at home. The Employee Assistance Program, EAP. This is a confidential, 24/7 service where you can speak to trained professionals about work stress, family pressures, or even financial worries. For example, if you're juggling a heavy project load while managing personal challenges at home, the EAP can give you coping strategies and emotional support, completely confidential. HR wellness initiatives. Our HR team runs wellness days, health screenings, and training programs that focus on resilience, mental health, and even ergonomics. For instance, attending a resilience workshop can give you tools to handle high pressure periods like year end audits. Ergonomic assessments can ensure your workstation setup reduces back and neck strain during long hours. Support from line managers. Your manager isn't only there for performance reviews, they play a critical role in helping you manage workload and set realistic priorities. For example, if you're struggling with competing deadlines, your line manager can help you reprioritize, redistribute tasks, or negotiate timelines. At ECIC, balance isn't seen as a luxury, it's seen as a foundation for ethical, accurate, and sustainable work. Using these systems ensures you don't just survive in your role, you thrive. Employee Assistance Program, EAP. The Employee Assistance Program, or EAP, is one of the most powerful and often underused tools available to you as an ECIC employee. The EAP is confidential. Whatever you share stays between you and the professional counselors. Accessible 24/7. You don't need to wait for office hours. You can call at night, on weekends, or whenever you need it. Staffed with professionals. These are trained experts who understand stress, family challenges, financial pressures, and workplace issues. Why does this matter? Because stress and personal pressures don't keep to business hours. You may be fine at 10 a.m., but find yourself overwhelmed at midnight. The EAP is there when you need it, not just when it's convenient. Let's look at some practical examples. Imagine you're dealing with ongoing anxiety about meeting work deadlines. Instead of letting it spiral into sleepless nights, you can call the EAP and learn practical coping strategies, like how to break tasks into manageable steps or relaxation techniques to calm your mind. Or say you're facing family challenges, maybe a conflict at home or the stress of caring for a sick parent. Talking to a trained counselor can give you both emotional support and practical advice on balancing work and family responsibilities. The EAP also covers financial well-being. If you're feeling pressure from debt or unsure how to budget during tough times, you can speak to someone who can guide you in building a realistic financial plan. Here's the key message. Using the EAP is not a weakness. In fact, it's a sign of strength. It means you recognize the need for support and are taking a proactive step to protect your well-being and, by extension, your performance at ECIC. When you use the EAP, you're not just helping yourself, you're also ensuring you can continue contributing effectively to your team and to the organization's mission. HR and wellness initiatives. Beyond the EAP, ECI's HR team runs a range of wellness initiatives designed to help employees stay strong, resilient, and supported. These programs target both your physical and mental well-being because we know the two go hand in hand. Here are some of the initiatives you can expect. Wellness days. These provide opportunities to check in on your health through free health screenings, fitness checks, and workshops. For example, catching high blood pressure early during a wellness day can prevent long-term health problems. Health screenings. Regular screenings for blood pressure, cholesterol, or glucose levels give you an early warning system for your health. Imagine learning about a potential issue now before it escalates into something serious. That's the power of prevention. Resilience training. These workshops equip you with tools to handle stress, recover from setbacks, and maintain focus during high-pressure periods like year-end or when major projects peak. Ergonomic support. HR also promotes ergonomics, making sure your work environment supports your body. For example, a simple adjustment to your chair height, desk setup, or computer screen angle can reduce back strain, wrist pain, or eye fatigue. These changes may feel small, but over weeks and months, they prevent long-term discomfort and health issues. Why does this matter at ECIC? Because our work often involves high concentration and long hours at desks. Without the right physical and mental support, employees can become drained or ill, which impacts both personal well-being and organizational performance. For example, an underwriter who sits in a poorly adjusted chair for months may start experiencing severe back pain, leading to absenteeism. But with ergonomic support, that same employee stays comfortable and productive. The key point is this: HR's wellness initiatives aren't just about ticking boxes. They are practical, preventative measures that protect you, your health, and your ability to perform at your best, while also showing that ECIC values you as a whole person, not just as an employee. Building your personal balance plan overview. Ultimately, balance is something only you can create. ECIC provides the systems, HR provides wellness support, and your manager helps set priorities. But the responsibility for maintaining balance lies with each of us. That's where a personal work-life balance plan comes in. Think of it as your personal roadmap, a guide that keeps you steady when work gets intense. It's not about perfection. It's about making deliberate choices that support your health, your family, and your performance. What should a personal balance plan include? Boundaries. Decide in advance when you stop working for the day. For instance, you might commit to shutting down your laptop at 6:30 p.m. unless there's a genuine emergency. This prevents work from constantly spilling into personal time. Energy management. Plan your day around your natural energy cycles. If mornings are your sharpest time, use that for analysis or decision-making tasks. Save afternoons for lighter work like emails or administrative duties. Breaks and recovery. Schedule them like meetings. For example, block a 15-minute tea break mid-morning and a proper 30-minute lunch break away from your desk. This isn't lost time. It's how you recharge to stay productive. Use of ECIC resources. Decide which supports you will actively use. Will you attend HR wellness days? Will you commit to calling the EAP if you notice prolonged stress? Will you have quarterly check-ins with your line manager about workload? Making this intentional ensures you don't ignore resources until it's too late. Here's a real example. Imagine a policy officer who knows that quarter end is their busiest time. As part of their balance plan, they schedule their medical checkup earlier in the quarter, block family time in advance on weekends, and talk to their manager about redistributing smaller tasks. By planning ahead, they protect their well-being without compromising performance. Your balance plan doesn't have to be complicated. Even writing down 3 commitments, shut down laptop by 6:30, take a proper lunch break, and use HR wellness screenings can make a big difference. The key is consistency. Setting boundaries. Boundaries are one of the hardest, but also one of the most important parts of balance. In today's digital world, it's easy to feel like we're always on. Emails arrive at night, WhatsApp groups buzz on weekends, and sometimes it feels like there's no clear line between work and personal life. But without boundaries, your energy, focus, and health will collapse over time. Here are 2 practical ways to set boundaries. After-hours communication. Avoid sending or replying to emails at midnight unless it's a genuine emergency. Why? Because every time you break that rule, you set a precedent for yourself and your team that being always available is expected. Instead, use tools like delayed send if you need to write an email outside work hours. Core working hours. Agree on clear collaboration windows with your team. For example, your team might set 9 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. as core hours for meetings and urgent collaboration. Outside of that, team members can focus on individual work or personal responsibilities. This creates predictability for colleagues and families alike. Why does this matter at ECIC? Because blurred boundaries don't just affect you, they ripple outward. If one manager sends late-night emails, staff may feel pressured to reply, creating a culture of imbalance. Setting healthy boundaries isn't just a personal decision. It's leadership by example. Here's an example. Imagine a project lead who consistently answers emails at 11 p.m. Over time, their team feels guilty for not doing the same. Stress rises, burnout spreads, and overall productivity falls. But when that same project lead communicates clear boundaries, I don't expect replies after 6:30 p.m., the entire team feels more supported and performs better. The bottom line, boundaries protect your health, your family, and your ability to do your best work at ECIC. They aren't barriers, they're enablers of sustainable performance. Incorporating well-being. Well-being isn't something you squeeze in only when you're already burned out. It's something you need to build into your daily routine, just like meetings, deadlines, and reports. At ECIC, we often plan our work schedules down to the last detail: meetings, submissions, presentations. But when it comes to our health, family, or rest, we often fit it in if we have time. The truth is, if it's not scheduled, it usually doesn't happen. Here's how you can start incorporating well-being intentionally. Schedule it like a meeting. If you put a 30-minute walk in your calendar at 5:30 p.m., treat it with the same seriousness as you would a board meeting. Protect it from interruptions. That walk not only benefits your physical health, it clears your mind and reduces stress. Family time as non negotiable. Block out specific times for family, Sunday afternoons, school runs, or dinner with loved ones. For example, one ECIC analyst sets Sunday as no work day to spend with her children. That boundary strengthens her family life and ensures she returns to work on Monday recharged. Rest and recovery. Don't just rest when you're sick. Build micro rest into your week. Short breaks during the workday, an early bedtime before a big presentation, or even scheduling a quiet hour in the evening where you disconnect from screens. Why does this matter? Because incorporating well-being sends a clear message, both to yourself and to others, that your health is not negotiable. It signals to colleagues and managers that you value balance, and it sets a healthy culture for your team. Here's a practical example. Imagine two underwriters preparing for the same deadline. One works late every night, skips meals, and collapses into bed. The other leaves on time, goes for a short walk, and eats dinner with their family. Who will have more focus, accuracy, and resilience by the end of the week? The answer is obvious. Well-being isn't a luxury, it's a performance strategy. Aligning personal values with ECIC's mission. Work becomes most meaningful when your personal values align with ECIC's mission. Every role at ECIC is about more than tasks. It's about contributing to fairness, accountability, and service to South Africa. When you connect your personal values to those goals, you'll find greater motivation and balance because your work feels like part of something bigger than yourself. Ask yourself, how does my role connect to ECIC's values? How do I personally live out fairness, accountability, and service in my daily tasks? Practical examples. A finance officer ensuring compliance isn't just ticking boxes. They are safeguarding ECIC's integrity and protecting public trust in how taxpayer money is managed. A claims officer handling export-related claims isn't just processing paperwork. They are helping South African exporters compete globally by ensuring fair and timely support. An HR specialist running a wellness program isn't just organizing an event. They are actively protecting the well-being of staff, which directly strengthens ECIC's governance and customer fairness. When you see your role through this lens, balance becomes easier. The late nights or tough days don't feel meaningless. They feel purposeful because they connect to your values and ECIC's broader mission. And when work aligns with personal values, you're less likely to experience burnout because your effort feels worth it. You know you're not just doing a job. You're contributing to something that matters for the organization, the country, and yourself. Case Study 1, Sifo the Analyst. Here's Sifo. He works as a financial analyst at ECIC, and it's month-end, one of the busiest times in the finance department. Reports are due, and accuracy is non-negotiable. On the same day, his daughter has her school concert where she's performing in the choir. Sifo feels torn. He wants to meet his professional responsibility, but he also knows that missing the concert will disappoint his daughter. What should Sifo do? Sifo has a few choices. He could prioritize work completely, staying in the office to finish the report, but this might hurt his family relationship and leave him feeling guilty. He could ignore the deadline, attend the concert, and hope to catch up later. But that risks errors, stress, and potential non-compliance issues. Or Sifo could plan smarter. By communicating early with his manager, Sifo can explain the situation and propose a plan. For example, he might complete most of the report the night before, double-check figures in the morning, and then attend the concert during the afternoon, returning afterward if final touches are needed. By being proactive and transparent, Sifo avoids the false choice between work and life. He achieves both. The lesson here is clear. Balance often comes from proactive planning and honest communication. It's not about choosing one priority over another. It's about managing both with intention. When employees feel trusted to balance personal and professional commitments, they perform better and remain more engaged at ECIC. Lorado, the project lead. Now let's meet Lorado. She's leading a major project at ECIC, one with tight deadlines, multiple stakeholders, and high expectations. Lorado is hardworking and committed, but over the past few weeks, she's been working late nights, skipping meals, and cutting into her weekends. She starts to feel exhausted, short-tempered, and less focused. Her productivity is dropping, and she's close to burnout. What strategies could help Lorado access the Employee Assistance Program, EAP? She can speak confidentially to a professional counselor about her stress. The EAP can help her build coping strategies and manage her emotional load, so she doesn't carry the pressure alone. Speak to HR about workload adjustments. HR can work with her manager to reallocate non-critical tasks, provide resilience training, or give her tools to handle stress more effectively. Even small adjustments, like rescheduling less urgent deliverables, can give her breathing room. Build recovery into her schedule. Instead of pushing through every day at full speed, Lorado can plan short breaks during the day, even 10 minutes of walking or deep breathing, and commit to full rest on weekends. This recovery isn't laziness, it's a performance strategy that keeps her sharper for longer. The key message: balance does not mean stepping away from responsibility. Lorado is still accountable for her project milestones, but by using ECI's systems and taking intentional steps to care for herself, she ensures she can deliver without burning out. This case study shows that balance isn't about doing less, it's about doing what matters most, sustainably. Reflection and discussion prompt. Now it's your turn to pause and reflect. So far, we've looked at strategies, tools, and ECA support systems. But balance isn't something that happens automatically. It's built through small intentional changes. Here's the question for you. What one change could you make this week to improve your balance? It doesn't have to be huge. Sometimes the smallest adjustments create the biggest shifts. Maybe it's turning off notifications after T6 ran PM, so your evenings are free from the constant buzz of emails and messages. Maybe it's eating lunch away from your desk, giving your brain and body a chance to reset. Or maybe it's finally booking that medical checkup you've been postponing, because your long-term health is as important as any report deadline. Let's add a few more practical examples relevant to ECIC. A finance analyst might commit to blocking one uninterrupted hour in the morning for deep work, instead of juggling emails and analysis at the same time. A project officer might decide to schedule a 10-minute walk every afternoon to clear their head before the next round of meetings. A line manager might commit to asking their team weekly, "How is your workload?" creating space for honest conversations before imbalance builds. Now, take a moment to think about your one change. Write it down, commit to it, and try it for just 1 week. At the end of the week, ask yourself, did this make a difference? If yes, keep it. If not, adjust and try something else. Balance doesn't happen through theory. It happens when you act on it. And the first step is always the hardest. Start with one change. Reflection and discussion prompt. Now it's your turn to pause and reflect. So far, we've looked at strategies, tools, and ECA support systems. But balance isn't something that happens automatically. It's built through small intentional changes. Here's the question for you. What one change could you make this week to improve your balance? It doesn't have to be huge. Sometimes the smallest adjustments create the biggest shifts. Maybe it's turning off notifications after T6 ran PM, so your evenings are free from the constant buzz of emails and messages. Maybe it's eating lunch away from your desk, giving your brain and body a chance to reset. Or maybe it's finally booking that medical checkup you've been postponing, because your long-term health is as important as any report deadline. Let's add a few more practical examples relevant to ECIC. A finance analyst might commit to blocking one uninterrupted hour in the morning for deep work, instead of juggling emails and analysis at the same time. A project officer might decide to schedule a 10-minute walk every afternoon to clear their head before the next round of meetings. A line manager might commit to asking their team weekly, "How is your workload?" creating space for honest conversations before imbalance builds. Now, take a moment to think about your one change. Write it down, commit to it, and try it for just 1 week. At the end of the week, ask yourself, did this make a difference? If yes, keep it. If not, adjust and try something else. Balance doesn't happen through theory. It happens when you act on it. And the first step is always the hardest. Start with one change.